representing. So if I was representing the magazine, I would say they're not damaged at all. I mean, in law, you have to prove damages. And what did they suffer? They're frat boys.
So, sounds to me like you speak from experience. Now, when it comes to Rolling Stone, their attorneys obviously tried to get ahead of this problem as quickly as possible, and they published some, you could call them apologies. Do you think that was a wise thing to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Calm the storm, you know, make people not so pissed off, and maybe we can get to a settlement and get it out of the media. That's their angle if you're representing the magazine.
Okay, if you're representing the University of Virginia, what do you think? Would you recommend that they have some sort of case?
Well, I would say that University of Virginia is not damaged as a whole. Maybe their Greek life is. I heard that there was this 25% chance that if you go to their university, you're going to be raped. So perhaps you can argue that that sort of damages the university. However, I think still people want to go there. It's got a solid reputation. So I would argue that they aren't damaged as much, just the frat system.
It'd be hard to prove. Okay,
yeah.
So the frat system itself, maybe the whole frat system could sue, or at the very least, it seems as though this fraternity would have some sort of libel case.
Right. It just depends if they can prove damages. Like I said, if you're a fraternity, what kind of damages are you exactly suffering?
Okay, speaking of damages, let's shift to another case, and that's Sony. Of course, they had the huge hack attack. It seems to be trickling out day by day, you know, about actors, about producers, about films, et cetera, et cetera. Is Sony exposed now, in your opinion, by the people who work for Sony? Say, for example, these producers who were exposed, their emails, or the actors. Angelina Jolie, she's a brat. I mean, we heard all this kind of stuff. Do these people have any kind of legal recourse?
Again, it depends who I'm representing. If I'm representing Sony, I'm going to say no. These people are not damaged at all. I mean, there is a reasonable expectation of privacy when you send out emails. But if they're hacked, you know, which happens these days, what happens? Again, it's going to come down to, did these people suffer damages? I mean, is Sony liable for people sending emails with expectations of privacy? Just depends.
So, but on the other hand, if you're an employee of Sony and you had your personal health information, we're finding out health information has been out there in the public domain, wouldn't you want to protect yourself and hold them accountable?
That would be a totally different story, absolutely. If your personal information was disseminated by a breach in security of your company, then I would say you have more of a lawsuit because it goes beyond, you know, reputation damages. But yeah, that would be a totally different story. Right now, the stories that we're hearing are basically somebody calling somebody a spoiled brat, somebody calling somebody a racist remark. You know, those would be held on a different standard.
Is this the crime of the new millennium, a cyber crime? It seems as though
yes.
We're seeing more and more of this, and it seems to be possibly a litigator's dream if that happens to be your chosen field. Absolutely.
I think technology is wonderful. We are blessed because of it, but we are also cursed because of it. So we're going to be seeing a lot of cyber-related crimes in the future.
Okay, now one other thing out of Hollywood right now, I can't let you go without talking about this, and is Bill Cosby. And I don't know, we've had now a couple of dozen women come forward. These are crimes that were committed, if they are crimes, and if they are true, were committed years and years ago, sometimes decades ago. How legitimate is a case for these women who are now coming forward many, many years after the so-called attacks?
I think to them it's always going to be legitimate. The question is how their lawyers presented. I mean, you know, in criminal law, there's no statute of limitations, but over time, memories, witnesses, memories diminish, witnesses disappear, so it'll be harder and harder as time passes to prove your case.
A lot of people say where there's smoke, there's fire, that so many women are coming forward that Cosby must be guilty. I look at it from another perspective, having lived in the public eye for a few years, and that is sometimes there's a piling on factor. And sometimes, believe it or not, there are people out there who are just after money. You buy that?
Really? That's shocking. I can't believe it. I'm a lawyer. I just can't believe that. Anyways, but yeah, I think it's true. I think Bill Cosby is the victim of a piling on effect. But luckily, we are part of the justice system, and the justice system is supposed to be blind and not subject to all these rumors. But we'll see. It'll be really hard for Bill Cosby to get a fair trial.
Well, let's hope justice is blind in all three of these cases.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Thanks, Kelly. Coming up next, stop the tape. Presidential sidestep, avoiding saying Jesus, plus a graphic video defense of the Second Amendment.
They then split up and pulled guns on both the man and woman working. The woman reached into her waistband and pulled out a gun, shooting Gould. He shot back, but did not hit the woman.
We stand united. Division is not an option. We're a nation of bootstrappers, of innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders. People who stand up for what they believe in, who aren't afraid to fight for their cause. It's in our country's history. Ours is